to welcome Federico Rebeschini, Global Head of SEO and Performance at EssilorLuxottica, who will talk about how to optimize such strategies with a challenging equation, small team versus global brands and websites, a conversation led by Becky Schoenberg at Spotify. Welcome to you both. Please give them a round of applause.
Well, great. We've heard some really great presentations today, so I hate to say we've saved the best for last, but I think this is going to be a pretty interesting conversation. Usually when organizations are taking on new websites, it's a sign of prosperity, but it can bring challenges as well, especially to SEO teams who may not be growing as fast as their organization and their content. So today we're going to be talking to Federico Rebeschini, Global Head of SEO and Performance at EssilorLuxottica, and learning how this international eyewear brand managed to transition from 17 websites to 70 with a limited SEO team. Federico, thank you for being here today. If you could start by sharing your story with us, can you introduce yourself, give some background about yourself and EssilorLuxottica and how long you've been with the company?
Yes, thanks for having me. As you introduced me, I'm now working in EssilorLuxottica for 5 years now, but I started as my SEO adventure 14 years ago while I was working in MSN. So I was the only technical person surrounded by journalists. They had heard about these things called SEO, and they thought it was too technical for them to understand. So I started just looking at blogs and they hired an external consultant to teach me the job. And since then, it's been my main focus on every company I worked for, from Microsoft to eBay to HomeAway, and now EssilorLuxottica. I started this job by myself within Luxottica in 2017 when it still wasn't merged with Essilor. Now that we are just one company, a company made of 160,000 people, our scope increased a lot, and until the end of last year we were just 3 people, which means we had to do a lot of things in order to just cover the basics.
Thank you. So you've been through a big growth period with the company, as evidenced by the new name, EssilorLuxottica, and you've acquired many new brands and sites. Going through such a major growth period, how did that impact your team immediately, and how did you try to manage it right away? What did you take on for the first priority?
Obviously, now we are growing, now we are 8 people, but still considering the huge amount of sites we have, again, to take shortcuts and just tackle the fights we can fight. So we basically worked mostly on tech SEO because it's the one that you can scale the most. So just a change on a template impact the US as much as Japan or Brazil. We'd love to focus on other pillars too, such as content or link building, whatever, but at the end of the day, those are too time consuming, and what we basically had to do was trust the rest of the e-commerce team and teach them to create their content, to do their tasks with an SEO mentality first. We are not going to read every single content we are going to deliver. We just train them to check on SEMrush or any other tools the kind of keywords to focus on and trust them, or even the translation agency, we train them to just create titles or description in Japanese or Brazilian, Portuguese that would have made sense from a perspective of SEO. And same with the digital PR team. We taught them how to talk to journalists, they know how to talk to journalists, but how to ask them for a link back when we deliver something to them that is a news that is exclusive or stuff like that. So that was the only thing we could do in order to grow significantly at scale, being just 3 people.
Wow. With so many brands and sites being added so quickly, I'm sure you wanted to keep things centralized so you could keep up with it all. What were your initial strategies for growing the team, and how did you come to realize that you wouldn't be able to do it properly without using some new tools and automation?
Yes, obviously we needed tools as well. Every SEO manager can't rely just on the Google Search Console. Botify, for example, is part of the set of tools that we are using, and in general, all these tools are helping us just to make analysis faster or automate reporting, because also an additional problem we are having is that we are having multiple stakeholders to report to, and everyone keep asking us questions about why something is happening or not happening. So we need to give them fast answers, and only tools can give us the speed to do that in a proper manner. This is why, for example, we use Botify, like it gives us in a single view our Adobe data, their bot data, the log analysis, so we can, for example, check at a glance if our internal linking structure works, and we're sending the users as well as the bot to the pages that make sense to be seen by both. And on top of that, on top of that, we are embarking into new technologies such as artificial intelligence, which apparently is the topic of the day, and that is something that giving us a lot of excitement at the moment.
Yeah, we mentioned AI earlier, and there was just a couple of hands that were raised. I know that you added a few people to your team during this time, but you decided to centralize on technology to amplify their strengths. Can you talk about how you're leveraging Botify and AI to help the team? I think people still might have that notion that using AI is cheating the system, but you guys are really using it in so many legitimate ways, such as helping with product descriptions or linking. Can you expand on this and talk about any quick wins that you've had with AI?
Yeah, I mean, with AI, the sky's the limit, in the sense that we just barely started to scratch the surface of what that kind of technology can do. Through OpenAI and GTP3, or through even DALL-E 2, that it helps you create images from text. We are exploring just a brave new world of opportunities, and I believe now the technology is mature enough to be presented to the public. That is why we are, with the support of some partners, but we are embracing this venture. And for example, at the moment, we are testing product description on hundreds of thousands of products artificially created by the AI. And we do that in a way that it's not meant to cheat on Google. It's just to enrich pages that would be there anyway, but without any content whatsoever. Because let's say you have a pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses. Within our perimeter, we have like 6 or 7 brands that are selling that same pair online. We cannot, on one end, just publish the same product description on all of them, because we wouldn't match the tone of voice, we would create duplication, we would have many problems. Oftentimes, those products goes just live without any description, just the specs. And that's not right from an SEO standpoint. It doesn't help our users. Maybe some of them are visually impaired. They need a description of the product that makes sense. Through AI, we can create this kind of text. Every text is trained to match the tone of voice of the actual website. So it's going to be just relevant for the kind of audience that is visiting the site at the moment. And at the end of the day, we provide a service to the user. So yeah, we are talking about SEO here, but I tend to think SEO as just a way of doing the right thing for the users at the end of the day, because we'll be rewarded by doing that through people spending more time on our pages, less bounce back to the search engine, hence increasing our visibility online overall. But again, that's for example one of the example of the things that we were doing. But we are also exploring many new opportunities. So within this description, we are now starting to add links that the AI discover automatically based on relevant pages within the website that talks about the same subjects. We are training the AI. We spend like 6 months, more or less, training the AI, and because we wanted really to deliver the right content for the right user. But we now want the AI to teach itself how to work. So, for example, nowadays we are starting producing, like, for example, 4 descriptions for a single product, and through DALL-E, we are generating images and see the one that matches the original product. The one that was image is more similar to the eyeglasses or sunglasses we are selling, is the one we pick, and the one that is submitted back to the artificial intelligence to train that to use the same information over and over again to all the users, so that we will have description that really matches the product we are selling.
Wow, that's a lot of great stuff that you guys are doing. But don't you have to train AI to do kind of some basic things as well before you actually use it for the product?
Yes, for example, you do not want to tackle certain subjects through AI. So you do not want to cover just a medical illness or something like that. That is just for subject matter expert, and it's not so you do not want a computer telling you whether or not your lenses are good for astigmatism, or even something more, let's say, dangerous. So that we leave it out, and we do not want the artificial intelligence to tackle it. Even worse, we do not want the artificial intelligence, but by itself is never good or bad, but to make racial slurs just because they do not know what they're writing at the moment. So obviously you need a blacklist of words, subjects and stuff that definitely you do not want to go on to.
And maybe even keywords you don't want it to use.
Yeah, to use or touch, that's a must-have, because the general manager would go downstairs and just fire us all if he would find a racial comment written by the artificial intelligence, because we cannot check everything on our own. So we check at scale, especially at the beginning. We spend a lot of time training it and checking it with the content team, but at the end of the day, at one point you will have to trust the model once you think it's ready.
But you can't rely on AI right out of the box, though, right?
No. Definitely, it's a model you have to train. It will belongs to you, so you can do whatever you want with that. But for the moment, I believe that those plug-and-play solutions you can buy just to generate text are not as refined as we want to, and they won't be for a while.
And you've been using it for a little while now, so it's even evolved it a little bit, right?
Yes. We're also generating, for example, FAQs on navigation pages, and we update them with a click of a button based on seasonality, so that in spring we can sell whether or not to wear contact lenses while swimming, and in autumn we can have them reply a question on the best contact lenses to wear for Halloween. So in the autumn. So it's something that if you wanted to do that with the content team, it's still possible to do that, but you'd have to invest a lot of time and money. And I've seen websites I was envy of that we later started to manage, who had so much content within them we couldn't compete with at the time. But probably their business invested 150K just to create it, and then now they're stale because they've been there for 5 years, and Google noticed that, and those pages are going down. So an additional benefit of these new technologies that you can refresh it text at will.
That's great. It sounds like you're doing a lot of experimenting. But what else can you share with the audience today as some best practices when they're facing some rapid growth period? I know you talked about that experimenting with the AI, but also maybe how you're helping the entire company better understand SEO.
Yes, so basically it's what I said before. I can make a recap of the fact that, okay, first of all, I see 4 points. The first one is focusing on tech. The second one is trust the e-commerce. So the team as a whole to do activities to support you. The third one is use the right tool for the right needs. So especially to streamline reports or to do analysis quickly and fast. And the fourth one, again, is to leverage new technology because these are the things, the ones I explained are the things that came to our mind, but probably there might be many more activities you can tackle with this technology that we haven't even thought about yet.
Do you have any specific ones that you're going to be looking into soon?
As long as it's we are, for example, looking nowadays to generate a new image. It's not something that we are about to deliver anytime soon, but for example, when we do a shooting of a product, we have the front, the back, the side, the 3/4. What if we can use AI to generate the missing photos between brackets and let us create a 360 version of the actual glass that we are selling. So, as I said at the beginning, the sky's the limit here, and it's literally up to everyone to discover what to do in an elegant way. So not to cheat, not to create something you wouldn't otherwise be able to rank for. So not to create content pages from scratch for just to tackle keywords here for product you're not selling, but until you're using that to enrich the user experience, I guess you're fine, and it's what Google does as well when is investing into the same technology.
Great. Well, I think we can talk about this for a long time, but I wanted to see if the audience had any questions for Federico.
The audience does. So question ones that we've got. So remember, everyone, if you've got any questions for Federico, please do use Slido if you're here, or the chat section if you're online. If we can just bring up maybe, that slide for you to use it. So first question we have is, how are the changes that have recently been made and are still coming in Google Analytics affecting your practices?
Well, unfortunately we're not using Google Analytics, which is a pity for us. But yes, obviously all these changes have an impact on the metrics that we are having, and it's a great impact so far. So this is the reason why we thought that we started from a very small batch of product, but the fact that, for example, it increased by 40%. Our click-through rate versus the control group made us bold and helped us deliver it on a much wider scale across all our brands. So we definitely had to rely on our analytics tools to do that, also to create a compelling story to tell the business.
Right, okay, thank you. You talked a lot about AI. What other things do you see AI being able to help you with in the future?
I don't know yet. I'm open to suggestion, actually, because it's been already a challenge to deliver the things I was discussing about, and each single of those challenges come with risks. So again, you had to consider what the AI can do wrong. from a PR perspective or disrupting the structure of your website. So we need to just walk slowly, but the path, in my opinion, is clear. And but yeah, so far this is what we are investing into. We'll see. We are open to suggestions anyway to just deliver more and more automated solution.
All right, thank you. How do you communicate internally regarding your progress and main KPIs in a global organization? That mustn't be easy.
It's not easy at all. It's very difficult. Well, there's me, just spending 100% of my time now making slides for the leadership team. And I'm nowadays very detached from the SEO on site that I used to work on. But jokes aside, that's where tools like Botify and the other ones that we are having comes in handy, because we are generating a single set of solution that can be forwarded automatically to the business to hopefully answer the most basic questions anytime they need to.
Right. Can you explain to us what are your interactions with the C-suite? How do they perceive SEO impacts? We talked a lot about how strategic it is. How do you interact with the C-suite on that level?
With the C-levels?
Yeah.
Oh, they love to save money. So whenever we tell them they do not have to invest in money in creating new content every few weeks, they keep saying, let's do it. Because obviously, in all honesty, at the end of the day, this is what moves the business. So we can have more content quickly and at a third of the cost. That's the best selling point you can have. After that, you'll reinforce the story through actual numbers, which thanks God they've come. But at first it's always a matter of money.
Right, thank you. One last question that we have is, for how long have you been using AI creation content? And in some moments, did you notice that Google could penalize you?
We have been using AI for a year now. I obviously hope we'll never be penalized because, as I said, we are using that just for the greater good of the user experience. So we are not just cheating anyone. We enrich content that or pages that would be there already, only with less information within them. So as far as we are delivering our solution that way, I really believe there's nothing to worry about.
That's interesting. I've got another question that's come in the meantime. How do you deal with customers' behavior after the pandemic? Did that affect you in any way?
Oh, that's a lot to digest. I mean, obviously, the customer behavior is now totally unpredictable. So we make just our forecast at the beginning of the year, and everything has to be thrown away just after 3 months. So with the pandemic, we rapidly grow as we were basically all the retail closed. So we were the only way users can buy glasses for a while, which obviously helped a lot. Unfortunately for us, the leadership thought this can be the trajectory forever and ever. Nowadays, we have the retails striking back. So we see people going more and more back to the shops because just sunglasses, it's easier to sell them online, but you really want to have a connection with the optician when you buy glasses because you want him to measure your pupillary distance or something like that. So while we are growing, because e-commerce is here to stay, and our numbers are increasing. We are now making like 10% of the revenue of the company in general, but now we slow down a lot. Still we're growing, which is good.
All right. I think we're good with the questions. Thank you both so much for sharing
you.
these insights with us. Yeah, feel free to, if you mix him.